Hey man.
What's up, man? So, I thought we were supposed to be making good on our New Year's resolution. I've been at the weights. You are nowhere to be found. What's going on?
It just so happens to pertain to that.
So you not being at the weights is somehow supposed to make us rip like Arnie? Isn't that what you said? Rip like Arnie?
I said that, but what I also said is that I could get us some stuff.
You didn't.
I did.
I talked about getting motivation, you know? Here, man.
Yeah, motivation. Exactly.
You said you were gonna, smuggle something with you.
That's exactly what I did. Look, check it out. What?
This is what you brought. This is what you smuggled in?
Yes. I mean, I took the plastic off. It's fine. Just open it up.
Wow.
What? Oh, come on, man. What, you hate it?
No, it's not that at all. I actually think the picture's really cool. I guess I'm just confused.
What's confusing you, man? I don't understand.
How did you manage to sneak this in up your ass?
Pressure and time. Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Chorizo Bros. Back at it again with yet another adaptation discussion.
Yes.
So this was a little bit on the fly a bit. Arturo had to go and take care of some family business, and we still wanted to get an episode out for you guys. So we decided that we were going to sit down today and talk about the Shawshank Redemption, or Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, as I think is what the title of the book is called.
Right.
Or it's rather a short story that was
short.
in a collection. So it's not a full-on book, but a wonderful adaptation. Really good. So we're going to do what we normally do here. We each take our turns kind of giving our little spoiler-free review on both things. And then we're going to open up the discussion as though you guys out there have seen the movie already and know what's going on. So, you want to start?
Yeah, Art's not here. I miss you, buddy. So Shawshank Redemption is a really great film. I think it's probably my favorite film of all time. It's like one or two.
It's up there.
It's up there, dude. It's up there. The book, I just finished reading the book, or the novel, short story.
We can keep calling it a book. It's whatever. Yeah.
And I thought it was okay. I thought the movie was much better. I think it's worth the read. Definitely worth the watch. It's hands down my favorite movie of all time. I think everybody should watch this. There's a lot of cool scenes, very kind of positively throughout the film. Also, there's a lot of negative things throughout the film as well. So there's this like balance in this film. So I give it like out of 5, it's a 5 for me. For the movie, for the book, it's about maybe like a 3.
Interesting.
So, yeah. I really am interested to find out how you feel about both. Because I always like to guess on how you think, but I don't know.
What do you think? I think
you really like the movie. I don't think it's nowhere near the level that I appreciate the movie.
Dude, spot on there.
But I think you really enjoy the movie. I think it's like an entertainment type film for you. But nothing that's like leaps and bounds of this type of movie.
You might be surprised. I don't know. I think we're going to have a fun discussion here.
Wow, all right.
Okay, so you basically hit it on the head as far as where I feel with the movie. It's definitely something I liked, I enjoyed, that I thought was really good. It's not on any of my top lists. So it is definitely a great watch, but it didn't have the emotional resonance for me that I think it was going for. And I think part of the problem with that is having read the short story. And it's easy to... the short story I want to say is probably about a 3.5 or 4. It's just a cool short story about some guys in prison and some fantastical escape. It's not doing anything that's really out there and crazy. I think it was more so an experiment on King's part to write something that wasn't horror. which I think or a different kind of horror, not supernatural or whatever, because
Sure,
there's definitely
'cause
horrific elements to what goes on in the prison. The sisters.
Yes. Yeah.
So overall, I think these are good things. The story was fun. It's written in a fun way also through Red's perspective the whole time. And just the translation of that to the movie and seeing some of the glaring differences maybe distracted me a little bit and might be why it's not a little bit higher on my list.
Yeah, that I was kind of expecting that.
Yeah. Because I feel like the stuff that I don't know, it goes back and forth for me. Because I think that there's some unrealistic elements in the movie that were a little hokey and that I didn't like.
Okay.
But it overall is a great movie. I think people should definitely check this out. If you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, watch it. It's great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, I guess let's go away now. Let's get into like the actual spoilers of the film. So, spoiler alert. And I really want to know what you didn't like about the film, because I was trying when I was watching it. I was like trying to find some things I just did not like about it, and there were hardly any for me.
Okay. Do you want me to just kind of list some of the things I didn't like? Is that kind of what you want to do?
Let's just talk about some of one of the things that you didn't really like.
Well, for one, this is gonna be weird, and this is not gonna sound crazy to me because I like things to be snappy. I like I'm okay with sitting and stuff, but this really feels like it's 30 fucking years. It really does feel that way.
The movie that just drags.
Yeah, and there were some elements that they added, which I understand because it's a short story. But when I think about how much time it took me to knock this out, and then I think about how long the movie is, I'm like, how is it that I read the short story in less time than the movie takes? How is it faster? Like, usually it's the opposite, where you go, you watch a movie and it's like a trimmed down like version. This is a short story and the movie's still longer.
It definitely has more detail.
Yeah, and it didn't need some of it. There's certain things that didn't make sense, and you go like, it paints a pretty picture, but it didn't really matter. Like the I don't know. There's a handful of things, but the one glaring thing was the music that he played. Remember, he gets a hold of that record player, and then he plays that. That's definitely not.
Yeah,
because that guy, that would have been really bad. I feel like he was not in a place that it was very out of character. I felt like Dufresne would not have done that.
Yeah, I think it was maybe just reinforcing the whole idea about feeling free. And so I can see your point where it doesn't absolutely need it, because there's other things throughout the film that encompass that freedom. Mm-hmm. And I guess that was the one thing that maybe the filmmakers wanted all of the prison, the inmates to feel a sense of freedom, just like Red and Dufresne have in some of the scenes of the film. So I could see that. I don't mind it being long. I think that adds to it, because like you just said, I think the filmmakers maybe kind of wanted it to feel that way, where you're like, man, we're in this. And that's probably a lot of the inmates how they feel. Like there's no turning back.
You don't want your audience to feel like they're an inmate. I don't want to be shifting in my seat.
Sure.
Now, if it's something like, and this is just my opinion, if it's something like The Lord of the Rings, where like those are long, they're even longer than this. This was like 2 hours and 20 something minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It is long, but see,
but then Lord of the Rings are like 3 hours, and I'm like, it didn't make me want to get up and like go do something else.
See, I guess for me as an audience member, it would be really hard for me to sit through Lord of the Rings for that long. But I don't know why, but Shawshank Redemption, I'm glued the whole way through. It's
definitely interesting, and I feel like maybe if it had an intermission or something, and it was designed to be in different parts, then I can see that. But that was a big thing for me. I was like, does it need it? Like, why am I starting to? Because the comparison between the short story and the movie is what really did that. Where I was like, well, they're adding a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be in there, and it's therefore longer. Why? It didn't. That record scene was cool, and it was again very pretty. It paints a very pretty picture. The issue about it was that it was unrealistic to the character's actions. It didn't seem like Dufresne would. He had a good thing going, ripping off his boss, which happens differently in the book too.
Right. I don't think it's that different. I don't think that's out of
It's
character
pretty.
for him.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying the way he steals the money. That doesn't happen in the book.
Right. Yeah. I think him playing that music is not out of character per se. I can kind of see where you're coming from, but to me, that seems like a normal reaction for somebody who's been in prison for so long, and he has a little bit of like a win by getting all that material, and he's like, hell yeah, I want to share this. So like Andy's very selfish, but also very selfless when it comes to his buddies, and that's one of the things that I really like about this movie, and why it's my favorite film of all time is because of the aspect of like brotherhood in it. I feel like throughout the whole film, there's all these little scenes of him doing cool things for his brothers, and I get that sense of, it reminds me of like with me and my brother, or even with me and my friendship with you and Art. Like I watch this film and I'm like, man, dude, the three of us would like bullshit
That's
around.
us, yep.
Dude, it's us. Like
That's one of the better parts of the movie. I don't know how they nailed it. All these performances, they nailed the like you said, the camaraderie. They really have chemistry on screen. Like all of the actors, all of the prisoners seem to like that group, his group of the tar roof people, and you see why they like each other. You see why they hang out. You see why they talk. You see why they kind of take shit from one another. Also,
right?
You get it, yeah. And the actors really know how to portray that,
right?
Because they take bets at the beginning on who's gonna start crying first, and that goes awry.
That was a really cool scene. I was kind of curious what you thought about. I think his name is Johnny.
Which one? I don't remember which one Johnny is.
He's the kid.
Tommy Wilson.
Tommy. There you go.
Yeah.
So I did make a thought that they probably didn't even need to put Tommy in it at all. I think.
Explain.
In that the whole aspect of him knowing that Andy Dufresne was innocent, I think that's important, and that's like a pinnacle.
I was gonna say that's like a big deal,
right? But I think if it was done in a different way without including Tommy.
You didn't like Tommy?
I didn't really care for him that much as a character. I think if it was maybe just one of the other his buddies or inmates and he just found out somehow differently, I think that would have been a little bit of a better.
It's weird that we actually have a different feeling on that.
Really?
Yeah, because it felt like because Red explains, he goes, well, that's the thing about being in here is like you just have to come up with a new project, and his project was I'm going to teach Tommy how to get his GED or whatever.
Yeah, but I just felt like it didn't really.
And he's playing obnoxious because they're like old timers, and he has the rocker like greaser sideburns. Because you're seeing all that time take place, and they don't know what it's like to see. Like imagine being in prison, coming out and seeing the punk movement. They'd be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, he's like a unicorn.
A punk goes into a prison, and they're like, "What is this?" So I feel like that's the vibe it was going for. It was like this is some cultural shock for them that they're seeing it from the other end. Like it's coming in here, and I don't know from a design standpoint of like what he looked like and how he kind of behaved. And they even say, we kind of like them. So I guess I took Morgan Freeman's word. If he likes him, I like him.
Yeah, I mean,
are you saying that the story was of him?
I think it could have been just done differently to where it could have been shaved down probably had they not like expounded on him needing to get his GED and those couple scenes that he had with him. I think it could have been done differently, and I didn't really care for him as a character. And when he did die, it was more like a shock factor on the warden, and I didn't really feel anything for Tommy the character.
Yeah, Tommy the character, I can understand you not having any... Like, if it was one of the guys that was there from the beginning,
right,
you would have felt something.
Yeah,
I understand
like
that.
Brooks, when Brooks died,
that was my favorite scene in the movie.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because it was the most emotional.
Yeah.
Because you then, all of a sudden, you're not hearing it from Red's point of view. This is the first time in the movie where it's somebody else. They're reading his letter that he sent back to the boys, so that's kind of like how it fits in the framework of the story.
Right.
Where you go, how is he all of a sudden the narrator? Well, they're reading his note, and it's like every shot of that was heartbreaking. Yeah. I was like, oh, I just want to hug this old man. No, for real, and that was my favorite part because it hurt the most. like you said with Tommy, you know, his death didn't really do anything emotionally for me.
Sure.
But Brooks, like, having him have that meltdown where he, like, gets Haywood and he has the knife at him.
I don't remember that in the novel.
That doesn't happen. He just, I don't even think does it say he kills himself in the book? I don't think it does.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I think it's like he died like 6 months after it went, like he gave up on life is the vibe it sounds.
Yeah. I do appreciate the fact that, and I don't want to sway too much on your thoughts.
No, my thoughts done. I just thought it was a beautiful, sad moment.
Yeah, I think the filmmakers did a good job of taking the original story, keeping true to it, but adding, to me, a lot of cool elements in it that weren't in the novel. So that's why I prefer the movie way more than the book, because stuff like that, like Brooks.
That's 5 out of 5 for me.
Right, like
I can just watch that scene and just be like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and like they did little things, like I think in the book it's a pigeon, not a crow. Yeah, and so I think it's kind of cool to note the differences between, but yeah.
Well, what I didn't like and what I thought you know me, like when I start not really digging a movie as much, and again, this is a great movie for me, but like when I start rolling my eyes is when I start tuning out. If I roll my eyes, I'm starting to tune out. And so
wait, let me try to guess.
You probably won't.
No, okay.
If you can, but you probably won't get it because it was towards the end where I was like, why did they do that?
Was it when he's bashing the pipe with a rock?
No, that didn't bother me.
Okay.
I mean, the physics of it is kind of stupid, but
that's kind of what bothered me.
But you can. It's whatever. Hey, it's just showing him escape. It doesn't matter.
Just get it over with.
In terms of the story, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
What I thought was dumb was the fact that what happened with Brooksy, what's his name? Is it Brooksy?
I think it's Brooks.
Yeah, I think they call him
the
Brooksy.
Old guy.
Yeah, the old guy.
Yeah, Brooks.
Yeah, so Red gets out and does the exact same thing that Brooksy does. The exact same thing.
Well, it kind of explains it though, that they get into like a halfway home. I imagine the time frame wasn't that far off from when Brooks often.
So he goes and works in the same grocery store. He's a bag boy. He goes and stays in the same exact room, not even just at the same place. Like that makes sense if it's the same halfway house. Then okay, but they're staying.
Then that's why.
Yeah, so he just so happened to be in the room that Brooks committed suicide in.
See, that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all.
The shot of whenever he decides I'm going to skip parole, and
he goes to the glass,
and then he goes to the glass, and the camera shot goes over the gun, and you're like, is he going to do some wild shit? And then it keeps going. It kind of fakes you out for a second.
Sure. Dang, really? Wow. Okay.
What?
That didn't bother me at all.
It just seems so. Again, it was like it's a little too on the nose. It's like, of course.
You hate that.
I don't like when things are on the nose.
Kind of spell it out for you.
Yeah.
This movie does that a lot.
Yeah.
There's no like the shock factor with Tommy dying. That's kind of and then
there's a little bit of ambiguity. There's a little bit.
And maybe for me as a like an audience member, I like it when things are spelled out. And this movie has like a feel good ending, and I just love it. Every little thing, I just feel good about it at the very end.
Would you consider this a top movie for you if the ending isn't that they meet on the beach? If it ends the way the short story did, where you don't know if he gets it across to Mexico or not.
Right. I like the fact seeing them.
You want to see the reunion.
Yeah. To me, that's because a lot of movies, they leave it up for ambiguity. And I get it. But sometimes I want to see. You want
a closed, nice
see,
bow on it.
Yeah, there are some types of movies where I'm okay with it, Mm-hmm. But most of the time I don't. I don't like that. It's neither here or there for me. So in Shawshank Redemption, the fact that it ends that way, I'm like, oh man, that's so cool. I felt good about this whole storyline and imagining, and I could see it. They were getting on the boat, and I could see it progressing. However. Mm-hmm. That might look like, and so, but if there's that ambiguity, like, oh, did he not do it? I don't know,
I kind of dug it. I kind of dug the short story ending where he's like, you don't know what happened to the warden, and there's like multiple wardens in the book because it's supposed to kind of make you feel like that's how much time is passing,
right?
But him like not really explaining some of the things. Well, it's because he's just limited to his perspective.
Yeah, and it almost made, and they did this in the movie too. Almost Andy seemed like a supernatural character.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Because he's almost mythological at the end, because he's the one of the guys that got out.
yeah,
That's I appreciated that.
yeah,
I actually thought that was one of the better parts of the movie, was it being told through Red's eyes is kind of like how he might tell you the story if you were sitting around at the dinner table. Or whatever.
Yeah,
what do they call it? Wherever the chow hall, when they're in the chow hall.
Right.
And he's like, so, this is what happened. He tells about how he didn't have a drink, but he got us all beer somehow, and this is how we did it.
Yeah.
It does sound, like you said, mythological. He almost sounds like a... and that was very close to being eye-rolly for me. But
yeah, I was going to say, I was like, that didn't seem like something you would actually care for.
But it did, because I understood the framework of the story.
Sure.
The framework of Red telling that his perspective of who Dufresne was is cool. Him happening to go to the same Brooksy place and do the same exact things that he did, that's where I was like, why though? If he had gone to the same halfway house and like the way I would have filmed it, because I'm obviously a better director than Frank Darabont. If I were to have decided to make that change, because it is a change,
yeah,
that's not what happens in the book. But if I had decided to make that change, I would have had him like maybe go to the same halfway house, and maybe he like accidentally sees that it's up there, that Brooks was here. Maybe he meets someone else and he's talking to them, and he looks up and he goes, "What's that?" Like instead of being actually in the same room. I know thematically I understand it, but it was a little eye rolly.
Yeah, I think what movie producers, it's all about how we can make it dramatic, and in the story, writers they don't have to be super dramatic about certain things. Of course there's dramatic elements in it, but in movies everyth's like taken to the top, and so
Yeah,
that's kind of why they do it. And I get, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So
that's one of the reasons why it's like a 4.5, 4.7 and not a 5, because it eye rolled me enough to mention it.
So you think it's a 4.5 out of 5 for you?
I don't remember what I said at the beginning, but it's high. It's up there. It's a very good movie. Like we're on the same page as far as it being really great. It's just not in my top 20, not in my top 10, not in my top...
I didn't think this was something that you would include.
It's a great story. There's a lot going on. You know me, I like a bleak story. I like to be the unexpected thing to happen too.
Right, and there's some elements of that.
There's some of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite scenes are just simple stuff, like the whole on the roof, doing the tar. Like that's one of my favorite scenes. Just seeing them all with the beers, and he hands him "Hey Andy, you want a cold one?" He's like, "No, man, I gave up drinking." And so
that's up there.
Yeah.
I think Brooksy was my top. I think the roof is probably the second.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what. I would say the end, but the end, at that point, that's when I was kind of like, oh god, that the ending is a misstep for me, because I almost like the concept of it. Because I like the idea that if you like the concept that they met, in your head they can meet. And if I go, man, well, I don't know, because Red really seemed like he was becoming institutionalized, that this was gonna break him, and he wasn't gonna. So
maybe what if it had ended like Brooks is still having that, like, should I
Red or Brooks?
Did I say Brooks?
You said Brooks.
Okay.
Red.
What if Red is having this like conundrum of, should I off myself just like Brooks, or should I? That actually might be I'm okay with that. I think that's a cool ending.
Oh,
like,
so there's like the guns here, and then there's like
the
bus tickets or something. Yeah, the compass. Yeah.
So he's like, what do I choose? Do I go?
And it's just like it just stops with him kind of looking down at him, and you can decide what he. That's like what the Inception with the fucking top.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, but the concept.
Then you kind of lead it to him actually going to go see Andy. I think would be cool. Like, I think the last line is like something about hope. Like, don't give up on hope. So,
yeah, the whole movie is about succumbing to your fear of, institutionalized, or what does he call it? whatever it is. The fear of that, or like losing your hope, or having it, and that's really like the good and bad thing is like. Dufresne never lost hope, no matter what happened to him.
Yeah,
and he was suffering in there.
God, dude, I can't imagine. And it's crazy because, dude, that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah,
innocent men. There's innocent men in prison like right now.
And it's one of the things that I liked of the adaptation is in the book they do mention that the way he behaves does come off as odd. Like the way he behaves during the trial, you see why, because he was kind of cold and kind of. He's like, well, I'm not trying to sway you. I'm just telling you what happened, and people interpreted that as cold.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's the concept of, well, maybe that's part of the reason why he was behind bars, because even though there was no evidence, he wasn't acting like remorseful. He wasn't acting like he was innocent. He wasn't acting like he wasn't emotional in any kind of way, and that turned the jury off. And that's why people in the beginning of his stint at Shawshank, they didn't like him either, because they were like, oh, who the fuck is this guy walking around like his shit don't stink, collecting pebbles? Like, what was autism back then? Is that what autism was back then? It's a joke.
Okay, I was like, wait, I can't tell if you're joking or not.
It's a joke. I said that deadpan on purpose. I was doing my best Andy Dufresne, making fun of Andy Dufresne.
You just said it really cold, so I just couldn't really tell.
I know. That was the joke.
Yeah. Dude.
No, but like he comes off as strange even to the prisoners.
Yeah.
And then it takes a lot. And even Red mentions it took a while before he even came and talked to me.
Right.
So there's something about his nature that's unusual.
Yeah.
A guy like that, he has to be a guy like that if he's gonna wait out prison.
Yeah, you kind of have to be a little odd, and
yeah,
you know, he's a really bright guy. People who are really bright are a little strange.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you have any kind of underlying theme that you came up with?
I actually don't
kind of look at it.
I don't actually think that there was. This is one of those instances where either.
It's just pure entertainment.
I just think it's a well-crafted story, and that's all it is. It's just it's very face value. It's very like what you see is what you get.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's okay. I think some stories can just be that. I don't think it was trying to have a deeper meaning or anything like that. I don't think. I definitely think that there's the alcohol callback for King. I mean, he definitely makes Andy. A drink is definitely a demon for him. He does, and King. That's one of his themes. He always throws that in.
Right.
There's always got to be a comment about someone's drinking habits in the movie.
Right.
So
was Red like
Irish,
and he wasn't black.
No,
but was he toward the end? Was he writing? Like, was this him writing the story?
You very much get the idea that it's his memoir, and he's writing it like as he goes.
Okay.
Because I think there's a lot. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but I'm pretty sure. What happens is there's a line where it's like if they find out that I have this, like,
yeah,
and that doesn't matter unless he's in prison and it's contraband,
right?
Okay,
and
he talks about not using certain names and whatever because he doesn't
mm-hmm.
want that to come up, and then there's like the fake out, and then there's a little extra ending, and it's like, well, he is out, and is he gonna make it across the border?
Okay.
So I think the concept is he's kind of writing it while he's in there, and then he gets out, and then he kind of can go back and.
Okay, I see.
I don't really know.
Did you read the book before you watched the movie?
So, the way that this works, this is one of those movies that was on all the time. So I would catch it. I never sat through and watched it from beginning to end until last night.
Get out of here.
From beginning to end.
Oh, wow.
I could confidently say before actually doing that I'd seen the movie, because I might like sit down and watch. Like I distinctly remember when I lived in Houston, my roommate JR at the time, he was downstairs and he was watching Shawshank Redemption, and he had like just put it on, and I had to leave for work, so I remember watching like the first like half of it, and then I went to work, and then there was another time where I watched through different pieces. I've seen it. I've seen the whole thing, but I've never sat down and like watched it from front to back.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'd never read the short story before, so I kind of did it all yesterday, in a way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang.
Oh, there's a couple of things. There's a weird coincidence.
Oh yeah.
It was
it
was really
crazy.
odd. So there's been this sort of ongoing thing about this project where we kind of sometimes it's just luck or just whatever that we figure out what we're gonna do. That we all just land on some conversation we want to have and we all decide to do it. So Jeremy hits me up. He said, "Hey, Art can't make it for this thing," so we start talking. Hey, we should just do one with us. Fuck it. Yeah. Art'll forgive us. Hope you forgive us, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
He's like, I should have watched that fucking movie.
Dude, he's gonna be
pissed.
He's gonna make a comment. He's gonna say something.
But so we decided we were just gonna do it, and then so Jeremy sends me this list of movies. Hey, what should we talk about? Should we talk about I don't remember what was on there. Yeah. It was like the Mozart, Amadeus. There was a random list and Shawshank.
Kid,
yeah. And there was this on there, and I was like, well, because we always do an adaptation.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know it's not that long. I can knock it out.
I didn't know it was this short, so that was pretty
short.
Dope.
Yeah, and then as I was and that was just dumb luck. Complete random dumb luck that you made that list. I actually suggested The Matrix, and then we should do that. And then I saw that list, and then I was like, oh, I think I have a little copy of that story. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then as I was reading it last night, which is at the time of filming this, last night was January 14th.
January 14th, yeah.
And there's a line that Red writes, it's January 14th, 1960, 70, whatever. Yeah. And I'm finished.
That was crazy, bro.
And I took a picture of that part and I sent it to him and I was like, what the actual fuck? What are the chances that he'd have that list, we'd go back and forth on what we should do? What are the chances that Art wouldn't be here?
Right.
Because we were supposed to do just a no work episode. We were just going to sit down and talk.
Right. And you know what's even interesting? It's not that
it's kind of cool.
Well, no, that's really cool. But so, and I was going to tell you this, but I was like, it's whatever. But on January 14th, my daughter had made the little arts and craft thing. And so she had put the date, the year, 2025. And so I saw that. I was like, oh, well, let me correct it. I want to put the actual date. So I wrote January 14th. And literally like 30 minutes after that actual thing happened, you texted me. It was like, dude, look at this. And you sent me that text, the picture.
Weird.
And I was like, dude, that's crazy.
That's weird. Yeah.
Oh, dude, stuff like that always
Stuff
happens.
like that always happens, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost what I almost feel like it's gonna do, because I've been chilling out on the superstitious stuff. I've been like so against it and so against it and so against it, and sort of when that stuff happens now, I'm just like, you know what? All it is it just means that I'm gonna pay attention right now. That's all I took from it. Is that's cool. Just pay attention. I don't know why that's the place I landed on, but.
Well, I mean, you can kind of
weird synchronicities. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if you can miss out on a lot if you just don't. I think we live in a day and age where everything's like super fast paced and people don't slow down and appreciate what they have and the little nuances of things. Like that's a little thing, and you could have just been like, oh, whatever. But calling out and seeing
it's kind of cool,
and it's super cool, and it's like, and all that kind of stuff can just be lost.
Yeah, it was just a weird coincidence, just a weird thing. Yeah, so, it just made me go, okay, pay attention. So what I'm thinking, like, that means that because we did this randomly, that when this goes up, that somebody, like, really cool is going to comment. Someone really cool is going to be like, yo, this is a great video.
Morgan Freeman, man.
Dude.
No, doubt it.
Morgan Freeman, but it's not the actor Morgan Freeman, it's an Irish guy.
The Irish guy's like,
named Morgan Freeman.
Oh, man. I'm watching this with a pint of Guinness. You guys rock.
Instead of calling him Red, they call him, I don't know, something else.
Yeah, I don't even think in the novel they talk about like his actual name, or do they?
I don't think so.
I
don't think so. I don't know. I mean,
because they call him Red because
he's Irish.
Well, no, because his name. I thought it was because of his name.
In the movie, it's because his name.
Right,
but his name is something Redding.
Yeah, Ollie.
And they shorten it to Red.
To Red, yeah.
But in the book, it's because he has red hair because he's Irish.
Right.
So that's why they do that joke with Morgan Freeman. He's like, "Why do they call you Red?" And he's like, "Maybe because I'm Irish." That's funny. That's a funny line.
Yeah. One thing that really just is really kind of creepy that I really like about it was the whole like not the bullfrogs.
Bull dykes.
Yeah. Like that, the way they described it in the movie and in the book just seemed like they were.
Oh, the prison rapes? Yeah.
Yeah. Like that I feel was on the nail for like Stephen King and his like horrific type of writing.
Yeah. Sorry, we have the animals in here. Sometimes they move things.
No,
so
she's fine.
if something knocks over, it's the German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's, I think when we were talking about like the horrific elements that King puts in, putting the prison rape in there, and the fact that it happens a lot is horrifying.
Did he ever go to prison, or was he ever locked up or anything, Stephen King?
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would have heard about it.
Yeah, I don't think he did, but...
He wrote so many books, there's no way he was in prison.
Maybe he was in prison, he just wrote them all in prison.
he wrote them while he was locked up.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. The story, you kind of feel like you can kind of play around with it. You can write it to where it sounds real. I bet you it's pretty inaccurate to what actually goes on in there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's so far out that you just kind of can take it for what it is, and
Yeah.
I think modern day prison is nowhere near like that. I'm sure there's.
I don't know. I think it's pretty like that.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm sure, like all of the.
I think there's crews. I think there's rape. I think there's rudimentary locking people up. I mean, that stuff's gotten probably more sophisticated as far as on computers and cameras. Right. But
I was thinking more of like the whole.
Do I think people in there are dirty and corrupt? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Why do I think that would be different?
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of like the whole Prison Break kind of thing, or the Crow being in there, the library, them being able to grow the library the way it did. Mm-hmm. That to me is the stuff that I didn't really think.
Yeah,
would
it
be
does.
A normal
it
thing
seems like
prison.
A myth, like you said before.
Yeah,
this is very like myth. This almost seems like a story out of time. It almost feels like it should be.
It is kind of it watches like a fantasy to me.
Yeah,
like big time. Andy's like this almost like godlike character.
Or he's almost like, it's almost like they're retelling a story of a hero. They're because all the stuff that you like about a hero, he kind of has all those qualities. He has. He's selfless. He's brave. He's not afraid to take chances. He doesn't ever lose hope. Mm-hmm. He didn't actually kill his wife.
Right. And even like when he could have easily just been like, I'm just going to get raped. And he does it every single time.
Yep.
There's one time he's like, okay, I'm going to just do what you have to do. And then he turns around and hits him with the film reel. And yeah, I just really like those types of themes, like the hope and the sense of camaraderie. Those are just things that I can relate to a lot, and that's why I really like this film.
Yeah. And I think they made a mistake of not aging the characters enough.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why does Morgan Freeman look exactly the same at the end? The weird thing about Morgan Freeman is ever since I was a kid, he's looked the same. He's looked the same. He doesn't look that much older. And then how many decades have passed?
Well, I think I saw a recent picture of him, and maybe it was
just he probably looks old as fuck now. But
yeah.
I mean, for every movie I've seen him in, even in the he looks kind of the same throughout. Yeah, he always looked kind of old.
Yeah, he always looked like he was in his 60s or something. And this film, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, they definitely, because, I mean, they were in the prison for, 30 plus years?
He was in there for 30 plus years. I think Dufresne makes it out in 17 years.
I thought it was 19 or 20.
Maybe it's 19.
Yeah.
It's close. It's right under 20. It's right under 20.
So in 20 years, you'll definitely...
They should have made him look a lot... They should have made Dufresne look a lot older. They just make him wear glasses sometimes, and he moves a little slower.
Yeah.
He would look a lot different in 20 years.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Come on. And he was already he wasn't like some young buck when he went in either.
No, I think in the book they said he was 30. So
yeah.
I think that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, the mugshot of Morgan Freeman whenever he keeps going to get the parole hearing, that mugshot of his is his son.
No way.
So they had his son pose. They didn't do like an anti-aging because it looks like him.
It does.
You go, that looks like they probably found an old picture of him and like.
I thought it was just a different like.
Or just someone that looks kind of like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
But no, that's Morgan Freeman's son. A picture of Morgan Freeman's son. So whenever you see those pictures of the mugshot of him, it's actually Morgan Freeman's kid.
Dang, I didn't realize.
And then he's got another part in the movie where they just arrived to the prison and all of them are getting out of the bus. And they, they're all the prisoners like, oh, fresh fish, and they're fucking with them. There's one black kid who's like doing this, and he's like, yeah, come here, fish, and he's doing this shit.
Oh yeah,
that's him. That's Morgan Freeman's son.
Get out! Wow, all right.
It's kind of random, right?
That is random.
Yeah, so that's in there. There's a couple of random like Easter eggs like that, like weird, cool things. The 237 from The Shining, room 237, is above. Morgan Freeman's cell. He lives in whatever something 237.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there's a couple of little shout outs.
I wonder if there's anything about like the numbers. I'm sure there is.
Oh, there's got to be. I don't know. I didn't catch them, but
yeah.
There's probably a lot of little Easter eggs like that.
I didn't really look up a lot of. So what was the whole thing with Rita Hayworth? So Rita Hayworth. Oh, it's just the. I thought.
What?
I thought for Rita Hayworth helped write this or something. I got so confused. But the title is Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. I thought it was like Stephen King and Rita Hayworth Shawshank Redemption. So I was like, I just was so confused. Like, wait, what? So this
they
makes
wrote
so
the
much
story together.
Yes.
She's like, I've got this great prison story I want to tell. Can you help me write it,
Right.
Mr. King?
And so I was like, wait, okay, so she wrote herself in the story.
She's like, oh, I love the idea of prison guys jacking off to me. What the fuck,
Yeah, dude,
bro?
I was like so confused. Like,
Yeah.
all right, this makes so much more sense now.
Yeah.
This is a cool, like,
Yeah, the
cool
cover.
design,
yeah,
yeah.
the design is cool.
yeah. Gosh, man.
That's fucking funny. That's fucking funny. I liked Red as a character being like a smuggler, like being just on the edge of, he's not really a bad guy.
Yeah, like the anti-hero kind
Well, in the book, he's it's pretty clear he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But in the movie, they kind of let it be more ambiguous for you. Like, you don't really know why he's in there, or like who he killed, or what the situation was.
Right.
Maybe he's black, and therefore they punish him a little bit harder.
Right. So for people who haven't read the book, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically Red ups the insurance claim for his wife and takes out the brakes of her car, but he doesn't realize that she ended up picking up some neighbors or something and their daughter.
So they die.
Yeah.
And it kills his wife and her friend and a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
So you go, yeah, fuck you, Red.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have stayed in prison.
Yeah.
Maybe you deserve the 30 years you were doing in there.
Yeah.
But that's what it does. It humanizes people even though they're assholes too.
Yeah, and that's kind of a cool underlying theme is like people who on the outside have done some terrible things. Enough time passes, like pressure and time, you know.
If y'all saw our skit at the beginning, we're aware it's bad.
That's the point. Okay?
We're aware that it's bad. It was just a funny joke.
Yeah.
Just consider that.
Yeah. But God, I don't even
pressure
know.
and time.
I don't even remember what point I was trying to make. But pressure and time can kind of heal and or break through anything that you're going through, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. That's a little cheesy, but this movie's
cheese. Yeah.
It's pretty cheesy.
This movie's pure cheese.
Yeah, it is really cheesy.
This
Which
is
I'm
like
surprised you actually still like it.
That I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was shocked when you said, yeah, let's do Shawshank Redemption. I was like, okay.
Well, because I think it is a well-crafted story, and that's what I appreciate about it.
Yeah.
That's why I like it, because it is mostly things that make sense.
Yeah.
I think when it tries a little too hard is when I start, rolling my eyes again. Where I'm like, it's fucking dumb.
Yeah, I'm sure filming it was
like I could have felt the same way. Why did Red have to go to that same place? Why did they have to put him in the same thing? You know what actually stuck out for me too, and this is like not a knock. It was just kind of like I think a mistake. Is whenever they were in the Red asks for permission to go to the bathroom at the end, and then he goes. But then you see him, and he's got his fucking full-on apron on. I caught it. I watched. I was like, wait a minute. He didn't take that. So what? He like held it up while he pissed. How the fuck did that work, man?
You can move it to the side.
Yeah, but then you're.
Oh, but you're bringing in that.
Yeah, you're bringing the apron in.
Yeah, that is weird. You'd hang it up on outside the door, or like if you have.
They should have had him like put it back on when he was like getting out, or.
Right.
Which they probably shot that first, and then they were like, come on, guys, we gotta wrap it up. Like, just do another take. And then he just kept it on. No one will notice. I noticed.
Hey, if you're gonna be this nitpicky with the movies, people are gonna be nitpicky with our little skits.
I just apologized. I just apologized for that. There's gonna be some hardcore edits. I forgot my lines many times. So I'm gonna try to make it work. It's gonna be funny. Anyway, I love the hat, by the way.
Thanks, man. It's yours.
It's mine.
Yeah,
but I think it's fitting for
it's
fitting for what we did.
Oh yeah, this definitely. I do feel like Andy Dufresne right now.
You feel like you're in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I still kind of don't know who Dufresne is. Because he's mythological.
Yeah, you get like little nuggets of like who he is, but just based off his actions, like you can get an idea of what his thought process is going through based on some of the stuff he does, but it's all like secondhand from Red, and so it's kind of cool because that's kind of how life is. Like I don't know what you're thinking. I only can get an idea based on your actions and what you do. Granted, I've been around you for a long time.
So you'd have a better idea than most people.
Yeah. But for the movie's sake...
Like, I'm not a mystery either. People know what the fuck I'm thinking usually.
I think there's some things that I'm like, I don't know how the fuck Joseph is... You're not that easy to read.
No, I'm pretty easy to read. Anyway.
You just ask somebody just asks you and you'll just tell them straight up, yep, that this is what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Andy Dufresne is this character that you just don't really know what's driving him, what's his driving force.
Yeah, I don't know that I really like him. I can appreciate how the story unfolds and the way it ties back together again. I can appreciate that as a storytelling element. But I don't know that I like him. Because I think the way it starts off, they make him look really bad. They make him look this drunk, blubbery dude. I mean, and he was going to go... He was going to go kill his... He thought about it. Maybe he didn't, but he thought about it. He was going over there to do something.
Yeah.
And I'm like... I don't know, there's part of me that... And then later on, he's like, well, I drove her away, That's your takeaway from this?
What do you mean he drove her away?
That's what he says. He tells Red later. He's like, I killed her, man. Well, I didn't physically murder her, but I made her not be in the marriage anymore, and she stopped giving a shit about me and whatever. Yeah, I drove her away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's a pretty good 180 from wanting to kill her at the beginning.
And then
to go so far to go there, that's insane. That's I get it. This shit happens. People kill their fucking wives sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm not acting like that's cool. I'm saying it happens. But I can't imagine myself ever being that fucking mad that I would, and then go and then not do it. Do you know what I'm saying? To go all the way there and not do it.
Yeah, because even just relationships, you could say to yourself, gosh, I'm gonna kill that guy for whatever reason, But just saying it, thinking in your head is one thing, as opposed to okay, I'm gonna go get a gun. Mm-hmm. That's one step. Then to drive there, that's another step. That just builds on it tenfold.
Right.
Each step he takes. He took all the steps. I think he even stepped out of the car at one point.
He steps on the bullets.
Yeah. And so it's crazy that you say that because, like, now thinking back on it, it's like, man, and then when you're watching the film, at least for me, you do, like, end up really liking the character. And you're like, but wait a second. He did go through all those steps of anger and revenge. And those are, in real life, crazy things to get to.
Well, and then, they argue that it's the booze, and that's why he doesn't drink anymore. Because he was drunk, and that's why he was being pushed over that edge. I'm just saying, like, I was... Again, it's a cool way to end the story. It's a great story, but, like, I don't know. I don't know that I liked Dufresne enough to just be, like, ecstatic that he escaped. Like, what I appreciated was the patience and the ingenuity and, like, figuring out how the prison system worked, like the system really itself, cool. and then actually, like, the way it was built, and, like, oh, this is what kind of rock grows around here. This is what this is probably what they quarried, and this is what they used to build it. And
the fact that one of my favorite things about Andy, though, is, like, he's not interested in doing, like, his hobbies are not the typical prisoner hobby. He wants to build a library. He wants to, help Tommy go to get his GED or whatever. Like, those things are pretty interesting to me. That's what I really like about it.
Was he just doing something to not be bored, or were those actual selfless acts? Do you think he actually cared about these things, or was it just a means to an end because his life was better when everybody was his friend?
So that's a good point, because in the movie, I think you're supposed to feel that he is selfless. But in the book, I think it's selfish. Because he's doing all this stuff and he's able to stay in his cell with no roommates. He's able to stay in that one cell. So he can work on the hole. So, and all the inmates are all nice to him because they do his tax returns. So
there's always a this for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So in all, I think in the novel, I think you're supposed to feel that all those acts are more selfish.
Well, in the movie, I get that feeling. I mean, yeah, it is. It's easy to dramatize it and make you feel the opposite way, but
I just didn't really see.
If you're not getting like influenced by the music and the cutting and the sepia tones and stuff, if you're not getting influenced by that, if you just like look at what's happening, it's
but I don't think it was the filmmaker's intent to spell that out to you. Like you said, everything's kind of spoon-fed to you in this one.
Yeah, not to its detriment necessarily.
Right,
Again,
right.
I'm able to get over that hump.
Yeah.
I'm just more so saying, like,
I would think that they would make a point to try to put in a scene that makes you feel that way a little bit. Like, he does the library and they slip him. I don't know. There's just some kind of exchange between him and the guards in some manner that you get the feeling that, okay, Andy's not really just doing this because he really wants a library. He's doing it because he can be in his cell alone, or
right.
They're not going to go through his room as much as they would other people, because they could have easily done that.
They're not going to take the poster off the wall because he's got a relationship with them.
Right. They kind of do, like, the warden goes in there and is like, I can't. He's like, I think he says exceptions can be made.
Yeah.
So
I think this really would benefit from another watch. I'm probably not going to watch it anytime soon, but like that.
So this is a rewatchable movie for you then. Like, you'd go.
Yeah, but barely. Maybe I would want to watch it with someone who hasn't seen it before. Or for the sake of, like, I'm not going to go out of my way to put it on necessarily.
Yeah. I watch this movie at least once a year. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that's an incredible amount. That's like a lot.
Yeah. I love this movie.
And I get it. It is a lot of people's, like, favorite movie. But yeah, there's...
I feel like for you, it's more of like where does the artistic kind of ambiguity of the film come in, or I think you appreciate that more in other films. Like, this movie's not super artsy. It is art, but it's not super artsy. It's more like a historical kind of tiny piece.
It's very well made, but it's not art.
Right.
It's well crafted, but it's not art. It's not artistic.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's you nailed it on the head. That's probably what it is for me, because it doesn't feel like it's trying to ask a question about humanity or society. It's a pretty straightforward black and white story.
It's like those Hallmark films. Like, it's kind of like that, you know?
Maybe.
But it has these really cool
themes.
It's
incredibly crafted. I mean, the concept of taking a story like this that's like one man's perspective and his retelling of this myth, this prison myth, and then going, well, if it's going to be a narration, we got to cast Morgan Freeman.
Perfect cast, yeah.
You know what I mean? Going, that's a fucking no-brainer. Like, Frank Darabont's really, really good. Actually, it's funny that we're saying this, because, like, Frank Darabont, the director of this, did... I don't know if he directed all of season 1, but he did season 1 of The Walking Dead, which was the best season of Walking Dead.
Of course.
It starts to get real shitty real fast. But Walking Dead season 1 I thought was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of entertainment, whatever. And then he did The Mist, which is funny because and then he did The Green Mile, which is another prison story, another Stephen King adaptation. And it's directed by the same guy, and there's a lot of the same actors.
There is. And all of those stories are kind of like trapped. Like, you're trapped.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to escape from something, or
right. There's
The Mist. I actually think that is a little deeper than this. There's definitely more to sort of explore in terms of
more like philosophically and like the decisions that people make.
Well, you're maybe specifically talking about the ending of The Mist, but I mean the entirety of the story. There's kind of a big thing where you go, okay, these are supposed to represent different parts of society or whatever, and you can discuss that.
Yes.
This doesn't have that necessarily.
No.
So it's weird that, like, The Mist, I feel like, is a deeper film, even though it's shot and acted and played as a monster B movie. It actually has a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I think I would prefer, if you were to be like, let's watch The Mist right now, we would go watch it, because I love The Mist. I would rather watch The Mist once a year than this one.
Wow, that's shocking.
I know. And you go, well, what the hell? It's just a dumb monster movie. Yeah, but I don't know. I like it better.
Yeah, I mean, I just am a stickler with taking the time with the actors and the scenes and stuff. And this movie's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Whereas The Mist is more like
short,
quick.
I don't think any character was I more so mean the storytelling decisions. I think everybody's performances were top notch. The warden, what a great performance from that guy.
Oh man, yeah.
Like he's not really like that much of an asshole, but everything he does, you go, you son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, he's a great one.
Dufresne acting the way he acts, that's very on point for what the story is. Morgan Freeman is the narrator. Enough said.
That
Brookesies is great.
I keep
bull
saying
dyke.
bullfrog.
Call him the bullfrog.
The bullfrog. Boggs, yeah.
Bull Boggs.
Yeah.
Hi. His performance is great.
All of the actors.
All of the guys.
But like in The Mist, the movie, some of the performances are fine.
But it's playing. It's a B movie on purpose.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. But I get what you're saying, because The Mist is more like that philosophical. It is kind of more artsy in that regard, where it's more. You have this like.
We're gonna do The Mist, by the way.
Yeah. We should do it right now. Fuck it.
just
let's just
reshoot. It just switch these up.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to be talking today about The Mist.
Art's not here, but fuck it. We're going to do The Mist.
Oh, he'd be real pissed.
Oh, he wants to do The Mist bad.
Dude, yeah, no, we can't do that.
We're gonna do The Mist when Art gets back.
Yeah.
We actually have I think we're pretty close to the end of the
Yeah, I
video
think
here, right?
so. Yeah.
So our plan is moving forward. The dog, she's ready for this thing to be over. She's like, "Can y'all shut the fuck up about Dufresne already?" What our plan is when Art gets back from his family obligations, his little vacation thing that he's doing. When he gets back, we're gonna do a video of just us three talking about the fact that we made it a year. We started the project a year ago.
And we haven't stopped. We've been really consistent
We've been really good.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun. It's
So,
been the highlight of my 2024 was...
It was one of the best things that we did.
Yeah.
One of the funnest things that we did. So it's going to be kind of that episode, the next coming one, that the three of us are together. We're not making ourselves work. We're not going to go read a book or watch a movie or whatever. We're going to just talk about what our experiences have been in 2024 with the project, where we see it going, what we'd like to maybe do next.
Yeah. Talk about just random stuff.
Have some fun with it. And then after that, A Scanner Darkly.
Yes.
Another Philip K. Dick novel, another adaptation that they've done. An incredible, fun book. I'm a big Philip K. Dick fan. So I'm ready to get weird with this shit. And you haven't watched the movie yet, right?
I am almost done with it, and I'm...
You're almost done with the book?
No.
You watched the movie?
Yeah, I'm not finished with the movie just yet.
Heard.
But I'm getting there.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It's bizarre. I'm interested.
We're gonna have a good conversation on that because there's some fun shit to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think we hit the end of the video, you guys. Thank you so much, all of you that have been here throughout the year. We got to give a big shout out to Matt Sanchez. Matt Sanchez, homie, you're the fucking best. You've been there since the beginning. I honestly, I'll go in and I'll see like he's commented on like the most recent ones that we've done. So
Matt,
he told me that he runs the videos while he closes and he just kind of listens to his bullshit about whatever while he's like closing up. And I'm like, man, dude, that's fucking badass.
That is cool, man.
So we really appreciate you, man. Like you're the shit, dude. Like it goes a long way, and just knowing that someone out there is just vibing off of our fucking bullshit is so cool, man.
We're just three Chorizo bros
just fucking hamming it up, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, on that note, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thanks again for joining us. Leave some comments. Tell us what we should do next. If you got so many ideas for us or talk some shit, man. Tell us some stuff we got wrong. Yeah. We love that, too.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like and subscribe.
Fuck yeah. Later, guys.
Bye.